I think Detroit felt that. The second round prediction of a knockout in the fight that you went down a couple times.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna smash your fucking face in, you prick. How about that for a fucking mess?
Tyson Fury just slapped a man at a press conference and completely lost his mind. But here's what nobody's talking about. This wasn't some random outburst. This was calculated psychological warfare from the most dangerous heavyweight on the planet. And after 15 months away from boxing, the Gypsy King just sent a message that's going to shake the entire division to its core.
My opinion was probably the best one I've ever seen him. And he still couldn't beat the Gypsy King on my worst night. So over a year later, he ain't got no chance. I'm gonna slap him.
So let me paint the picture for you. We're at what should have been a routine press conference for Fury versus Arslanbek Makhmudov. Standard boxing promotion stuff, right? Wrong. The tension in that room was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Makhmudov, this absolute monster of a man with a 90% knockout ratio, is sitting there trying to stare down the former heavyweight champion. And Fury, he's just watching, calculating. Then boom, he reaches across that table and slaps this dude right in front of everyone. Security scrambles, cameras go wild, and Fury just sits back like nothing happened. But here's the kicker, his eyes never changed. Stone cold. This wasn't anger, people, this was business.
He was born with his fists up, and that glint in his eye always knew he was going to be somewhat special. He was born to fight, all right. The ones who's got Fury DNA, not shy of a fight.
Now here's where it gets absolutely wild. John Fury, Tyson's father, has been telling anyone who will listen that his son was born for this chaos. And watching that slap, you can see exactly what he means. Most fighters talk tough at press conferences, throw around some insults, maybe push each other a little. But Fury operates on a completely different level. He doesn't just want to beat you in the ring, he wants to break your mind before you even get there. That slap wasn't about disrespect. It was about showing Makhmudov and everyone watching that the Gypsy King does whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and there's not a damn thing anyone can do about it.
You honestly think if these two come together like this, well, you know what's going to happen?
So what you going
But wait, it gets even crazier. Frank Warren, Fury's own promoter, came out afterward trying to distance himself from the whole thing. He's talking about how he doesn't condone the chaos, how there are lines that shouldn't be crossed. You know what that tells me? Even the people in Fury's corner are scared of what he's capable of. This is a man who's promoted some of the wildest characters in boxing history, and he's nervous about Tyson Fury. Think about that for a second. When your own promoter is worried about your unpredictability, you know you're dealing with something special.
It seems to be like you can talk about someone online and do videos, but not expect someone to say anything when you see someone. So I don't know. Listen, my dad's got his ways and his points, and 90% of the time he's half right, but...
And get this, Eddie Hearn, who's usually got something slick to say about everything, admitted that security was genuinely concerned about what might happen when these two got in the same room. Security was concerned. We're talking about professional fighters here, guys who deal with violence for a living, and the people whose job it is to keep everyone safe were worried about Tyson Fury losing control. That slap proved they were right to be scared. But here's what's really insane, Fury wasn't out of control at all. Every move was calculated, every gesture was planned. The man is a master manipulator disguised as a loose cannon.
Probably shouldn't be doing that, right? There he goes again. Now again, I'm no doctor, I don't know, but it does seem like...
Now listen to this part, because this is where you really understand the genius of what Fury just did. His son Shane came out and explained the difference between talking tough online and actually stepping up in person. And that's exactly what this slap was about. Crawford can post all the training videos he wants, talk all the trash he wants on social media. But when you're sitting 3 feet away from Tyson Fury and he decides to make a statement, that's when you find out who you really are. That slap was Fury's way of saying, "Welcome to my world, kid. Hope you're ready for what comes next."
Didn't get to. No, I just told him about himself. He know what I said, but he got to stop being a clown, you know? Like, everybody not with the clown antics and things like.
Here's the thing that's got everyone in boxing talking. Wade Plem raised some serious questions about what this slap might mean for Fury's career. And honestly, that's exactly why Fury did it. He's been out of the ring for 15 months. People are wondering if he's still got it, if the fire is still there, if Father Time has finally caught up with the Gypsy King. Well, guess what? Questions answered. That slap told everyone in the heavyweight division that Shane Fury is back. He's hungrier than ever, and he's ready to remind everyone why they used to be scared of him in the first place.
Everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but sometimes when you that kind of fighter, you.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Terrence Tyson called out the whole thing, talking about the line between bravado and foolishness. And you know what? Makhmudov got a point, but that's also exactly why Fury is so dangerous. He walks that line better than anyone in combat sports. He knows exactly how far he can push things before they go too far. That slap wasn't foolishness, it was theater with a purpose. It was Fury showing Tyson that he's not just fighting a boxer. He's fighting a man who will do absolutely anything to get inside his head.
Because you'll only know when you get in that ring, and it's too late. Let's just see. Tyson's not a stupid man. He knows where he's at. He feels good in training, but in training is one thing, in the ring, under the lights is another. All we can do is wait and see. He's going to do it anyway, so...
Now get this, even Canelo Alvarez weighed in on this whole situation, talking about how Fury's genius isn't in his raw power, it's in his timing and mind games. And that slap was the perfect example. Think about when it happened, not during some heated exchange, not after Makhmudov said something disrespectful. It came out of nowhere, completely unexpected, maximum psychological impact. Fury has been studying the mental side of this game for decades, and that slap was a masterclass in psychological warfare. Makhmudov thought he was coming to a press conference. Fury turned it into a lesson about who really runs the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I think it's a good fight, especially the return for Tyson Fury. I think the boxing public definitely missed him. And, like he said, he loves the sport so much. He came back, and you never really know with Tyson Fury, but there's one thing I did know when he retired, that he would.
Hold up, because John Fury dropped another bomb that explains everything. He said the true test isn't what happens in training, it's what happens under the lights. And that slap, that was Fury showing everyone that he doesn't wait for the lights to turn on. He brings the intensity wherever he goes. Makhmudov can hit all the heavy bags he wants, spar with all the best fighters in his camp. But can he handle the mind games? Can he deal with the pressure of facing a man who just slapped him in front of the entire boxing world? That's what we're about to find out.
Tyson Fury has been out of the ring for well over a year now. By the time he gets back in the ring on April the 11th, he will have been out of the ring for well over a year. You're probably talking close to 15, 16 months. It's a long time, especially for someone who is more of a mover, more a boxer. It's not like a...
And here's what's really got the boxing world buzzing. Lennox Lewis himself came out and said this return proves Fury's love for the sport is unmatched. But I think Lewis is missing the bigger picture here. This isn't about love of boxing. This is about dominance. This is about a man who spent 15 months watching other fighters try to fill the void he left behind, and he didn't like what he saw. That slap was Fury's way of announcing that the vacation is over. The real heavyweight champion is back, and everyone else has been playing pretend while he was gone.
Tyson's looking in magnificent shape, best I've seen him in, to be quite honest, for a long time, and more importantly, mentally he's in a good place. And this is a big fight. He's in with a very, very experienced fighter who's a big man, big puncher. I think he's got a 90% knockout ratio. He's knocked out 17 of his opponents in the first round. So he can whack, and he's not fazed about fighting over here. He fought recently over here and beat Dave Allen.
But wait, it gets worse for everyone else in the division. Liam Goh brought up the concern about Fury's long layoff, 15 to 16 months away from professional boxing. Most fighters would be rusty, would need a tune-up fight, would ease their way back into things. Not Fury. He's coming back against a monster with a 90% knockout ratio, and he's so confident that he's slapping people at press conferences. That training camp in Thailand didn't just get him in shape, it reminded him who he is. And who he is, apparently, is a man who thinks nothing of humiliating opponents before they even step in the ring.
Good. I think that mentally he's in a good place. Physically, he looked good as well. He's been working well out in Thailand, and I sort of agree with Paulie. I think that he's a massive addition to the heavyweight scene. He has been over the last 10 years, and I think it's good to have him back. We need the characters. Look.
Here's the kicker that nobody's talking about. Frank Warren came out afterward and said this is the best shape Fury's been in for years. Think about that for a second. We're talking about a man who's already been heavyweight champion multiple times, who's already proven he's one of the greatest of his generation. And now he's in better shape than he's been in years. That slap wasn't just psychological warfare, it was a preview of what's coming. Fury didn't spend 15 months getting soft. He spent 15 months getting dangerous.
And, Tyson's got enough boxing IQ to think, I've got to do this, that and the other with him to beat him. And he probably will do that, and he should do it quite easily if he's prepared properly.
Now listen to this, because Spencer Oliver confirmed what everyone in boxing was hoping to see. Fury is back in peak mental and physical condition. That training camp in Thailand wasn't just about getting in shape. It was about rediscovering the killer instinct that made him heavyweight champion in the first place. And that slap, that was the killer instinct announcing its return. Oliver's right that Fury operates on instinct as much as strategy. But what he didn't mention is that Fury's instincts are telling him to destroy everyone in his path, starting with mind games and ending with knockouts.
Good little fight. Tyson's nice and relaxed. He's coming back. Again, after retiring, he's back out of retirement. We kind of knew it was going to happen. He seems in a good place. He seems quite happy. He's not out of shape. He's in his usual shape, which isn't great shape in terms of physicalities to look at. He's not good on the optics, but he's in shape because he's not 28 stone. He's probably looking about 18 and a half stone-ish, and he's in the gym. I don't think he ever really came out of the gym. He said he's been training twice a day since announcing his last
Arslan. And get this, Dominic Ingle highlighted Fury's boxing IQ, his ability to adapt strategy in real time. But that slap showed something even more dangerous than boxing IQ. It showed that Fury has developed psychological IQ to match his technical skills. He read that room, identified the perfect moment to strike, and executed flawlessly. Makhmudov thought he was dealing with a boxer. Turns out he's dealing with a chess master who just put him in checkmate before the game even started.
Yes, he's a legend, like a big name in boxing, but I come here.
Here's where things get really wild. Some analyst provided a brutally honest assessment of Fury's condition, talking about how he's not an aesthetic masterpiece, but his conditioning is unquestionable. And you know what? That makes that slap even more terrifying. This isn't some pretty boy fighter trying to look good for the cameras. This is a man who's built for war, who's trained twice daily to get back to the top, and who's so confident in his preparation that he's willing to risk everything on a psychological power play. That slap was Fury telling everyone that he's not here to look pretty. He's here to remind everyone why they used to be afraid of him.
Do you think Tyson still has a lot to give to the heavyweight division?
Yeah, I do think Tyson has a lot to give to the heavyweight because, he's a good boxer, and there's a lot of guys out there that he hasn't boxed, such as the guys.
But here's what I found most interesting, Makhmudov's response to all this chaos. The guy actually kept his composure, talked about not being intimidated, about coming to prove himself against a living legend. And honestly, I respect that. But here's the problem for Makhmudov: keeping your composure at a press conference is one thing. Keeping your composure when you're getting hit by a man who just proved he'll do absolutely anything to win, that's something completely different. Fury didn't just slap him. He gave him a preview of the mental warfare that's coming his way for the next however many weeks until they fight. And here's the truth that Lennox Lewis touched on but didn't fully explore. Fury thrives when facing dangerous, high-caliber opponents. That slap wasn't disrespect toward Makhmudov. It was recognition. Fury only brings out the psychological warfare for fighters he considers worthy adversaries. He could have taken an easy comeback fight against some nobody. Instead, he chose a monster with a 90% knockout ratio, and then he slapped him at the press conference. That tells you everything you need to know about where Fury's head is at right now. Finally, Fury's own words after all this chaos tell the real story. He's supremely confident, mentally and physically primed from that training camp in Thailand, and he's embracing the challenge of facing a giant like Makhmudov. But here's what he's not saying: he chose this fight specifically because it's dangerous. He could have come back against anyone. He chose the scariest available opponent and then slapped him in public. That's not confidence, people. That's a man who's reached a level of self-belief that borders on insanity. And in heavyweight boxing, that might be exactly what it takes to remind everyone who really runs this division. So there you have it. Tyson Fury slapped a man with a 90% knockout ratio at a press conference. His own promoter is nervous about what he might do next. and the entire heavyweight division just got put on notice that the Gypsy King is back and more dangerous than ever. This isn't just about one slap at one press conference. This is about a former champion announcing his return by proving he'll do whatever it takes to get inside his opponent's head. The question is, will this psychological warfare work, or did Fury just wake up a sleeping giant? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think that slap was genius, or did Fury just make the biggest mistake of his comeback? If this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really happening in heavyweight boxing right now, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because this fight is going to be absolutely insane, and you don't want to miss a second of the coverage leading up to it. I'll see you in the next one. But hold on, we need to dive deeper into what this slap actually reveals about the current state of heavyweight boxing, because what Fury just did exposed some uncomfortable truths that nobody wants to talk about. See, while everyone's been focused on the drama of that moment, they're missing the bigger picture. The heavyweight division has been sleepwalking for 15 months without its most dangerous predator. Fighters have been getting comfortable, thinking they could stake their claim to the throne while the real king was away. That slap wasn't just aimed at Makhmudov. It was a wake-up call to every heavyweight who thought they could relax while Fury was gone. And here's where it gets absolutely terrifying for the rest of the division. Anthony Joshua's been trying to rebuild his legacy after those devastating losses. Deontay Wilder's been looking for his path back to relevance. Francis Ngannou shocked the world by going the distance with Fury in their exhibition. All of these guys have been operating under the assumption that maybe, just maybe, Fury had lost a step during his time away. That slap just shattered every one of those assumptions. This isn't a diminished Fury coming back for one last payday. This is a man who spent 15 months getting hungrier, more focused, and apparently more willing to cross lines that other fighters won't even approach. You want to know what's really scary? The timing of this whole comeback. Fury didn't choose to return when the division was weak or when there were easy fights available. He's coming back right when the heavyweight scene is at its most competitive in years. Saudi Arabia is throwing around massive money for super fights. The undisputed championship picture is more complicated than it's been in decades. And into all this chaos walks Tyson Fury, slapping people at press conferences and reminding everyone that none of their plans matter if they can't get past the Gypsy King first. That's not just confidence. That's a man who feeds on chaos and sees opportunity where others see obstacles. But let's talk about what that Thailand training camp really did to Fury's mindset, because the physical transformation is only part of the story. When you isolate yourself in a foreign country for months, training twice daily with nothing but your thoughts and your demons, something fundamental changes. Fury went to Thailand carrying the weight of 15 months of criticism, 15 months of people questioning whether he still had it, 15 months of watching other fighters try to fill the void he left behind. He came back with that slap, which tells you everything you need to know about what conclusions he reached during those long training sessions. He didn't just get in shape, he got angry. And here's something that's flying completely under the radar, the psychological impact this is having on Makhmudov's entire camp right now. Think about it from their perspective. They've been preparing for months to face Tyson Fury, studying tape, developing strategies, building game plans. Then they show up to what should be a routine press conference, and their fighter gets slapped on live television. Every assumption they've made about Fury's mental state just went out the window. How do you prepare for a man who's willing to escalate things to physical confrontation before the fight even starts? How do you game plan against someone who just proved the psychological warfare starts the moment he walks in the room? Now here's where this gets really interesting from a business perspective, and this is something Eddie Hearn touched on but didn't fully explore. That slap just made this fight 10 times more marketable. We went from a solid comeback fight to must-see television in the span of 30 seconds. Every casual fan who might have skipped this fight is now tuning in to see what happens when these two actually get in the ring. Fury knows exactly what he's doing from a promotional standpoint. He's been in this game long enough to understand that controversy sells, and that slap just guaranteed this fight will do massive numbers. The man is a master at turning psychological warfare into profit. But let's get real about what this means for Fury's legacy, because this comeback isn't just about proving he can still fight at the highest level. This is about cementing his place as the most complete heavyweight of his generation. Muhammad Ali had the mouth and the movement. Mike Tyson had the intimidation and the power. Lennox Lewis had the technical skills and the championship pedigree. Fury has all of that plus something none of them possessed, the willingness to completely reinvent himself whenever the situation demands it. That slap showed he's adding a new dimension to his psychological arsenal, and at this stage of his career, that's absolutely terrifying for everyone else. Here's what's really got me excited about this whole situation. We're about to see if Makhmudov has the mental fortitude to handle what's coming his way. A 90% knockout ratio is impressive, but those statistics mean nothing if you can't handle the mind games. Fury just gave him a preview of the psychological pressure he's going to face, not just in the ring, but in every interaction leading up to the fight. Every press conference, every face-off, every moment they're in the same room is going to be a mental battle. Makhmudov kept his composure after the slap, but that was just round one of the psychological warfare. The question is, how will he handle rounds 2, 3, and 4? And let's talk about the elephant in the room, what this slap means for potential super fights down the line. If Fury gets past Makhmudov in impressive fashion, every top heavyweight is going to have to recalculate their approach to facing him. Anthony Joshua's team is probably watching that footage right now, trying to figure out how to prepare for a Fury who's willing to get physical before the fight even starts. Deontay Wilder, who's always prided himself on his intimidation factor, just watched Fury take intimidation to a completely different level. The entire landscape of heavyweight boxing just shifted, and it all started with one calculated slap at a press conference. But here's what I think is the most significant aspect of this whole situation: the message Fury just sent to his own team and support system. Frank Warren might be nervous about the unpredictability, but that slap proved Fury is completely committed to doing whatever it takes to win. His training team, his corner, everyone in his camp just got confirmation that they're working with a man who's operating at a level of intensity that most fighters never reach. That kind of commitment is contagious. When your fighter is willing to risk everything for a psychological advantage, it elevates everyone around him. That slap wasn't just warfare against Makhmudov, it was motivation for Team Fury. Now let's dive into the technical implications of what we just witnessed, because that slap revealed something crucial about Fury's current physical condition. The speed, the precision, the way he controlled the distance and timing. Those are the reflexes of a man who's been training at the highest level. 15 months away from competition didn't slow him down, it sharpened him. That slap was delivered with the same timing and accuracy that makes Fury so dangerous in the ring. Makhmudov just got a preview of the hand speed and reaction time he's going to face, disguised as a moment of psychological warfare. Here's something that's not getting enough attention: the international implications of this incident. Boxing is a global sport, and that slap just went viral in every country where combat sports matter. Fury's brand as the unpredictable, dangerous heavyweight just got reinforced on a worldwide stage. Promoters in Saudi Arabia, the UK, Las Vegas, everywhere major fights happen, just got reminded why Tyson Fury is the most compelling figure in heavyweight boxing. That slap wasn't just about intimidating one opponent. It was about reminding the entire boxing world that Fury operates by his own rules. And let's be honest about what this reveals about Fury's relationship with pressure and expectations. Most fighters feel the weight of a comeback after 15 months away. They're nervous about ring rust, worried about whether they can still perform at the highest level, concerned about disappointing their fans. Fury responded to all that pressure by slapping his opponent at a press conference. That tells you everything you need to know about his mental state. He's not feeling pressure, he's applying it. He's not worried about meeting expectations, he's setting new ones. That slap was Fury's way of saying the only expectations that matter are the ones he sets for himself. So here's what we're really looking at. This isn't just a comeback fight anymore. This is a statement fight. Fury has turned what should have been a routine return to the ring into a defining moment for his entire legacy. Win or lose, that slap guaranteed this fight will be remembered. But here's the thing about Tyson Fury: he doesn't make moves like this unless he's absolutely certain of the outcome. That slap was the confidence of a man who knows exactly what's going to happen when that bell rings. The only question is whether Makhmudov got the message, or if he's about to learn it the hard way in front of the entire boxing world.